The seventh item needing consideration is consider approving a resolution to adopt a supplemental budget to defray expenses and to authorize additional financing sources and to authorize budgetary transfers between funds or spending agencies with a fund for Mesa County, Colorado. Good morning, Diane. We have our budget manager here to present.
Good morning, Commissioners. Diane Giacoski, County Budget Manager. I have two resolutions for you today. We will start with the first one, which is a resolution to adopt an amendment to our 2024 fiscal year budget. And this resolution includes new revenues that we received since the budget was adopted, authorizing additional appropriations due to new information that has come in since the last amendment. And so this is just high-level overview of our amendment. For the general fund, we are expecting to bring in a total revenue of $412,000 with expenditures of $880,000 and a use of fund balance of $418,000. For all of our funds, we have a total revenue of $190,000, expenditures of $72,000, and a use of fund balance of $582,000. And then in addition to those, we are also bringing in that lease purchase agreement that was just discussed in our prior resolutions. So starting with the general fund revenues, most of this is grant revenues that we're bringing in. $156,000 for a grant for early intervention for pretrial, and that's for our Criminal Justice Services Department. $110,000 for our Japanese beetle eradication efforts that came from the state. $84,000 is going to the DA's office to fund 2 new FTE positions. That's through grant funding. And then $61,000 in various grants that were received by the Sheriff's Office since our last amendment. For general fund expenses that we have, the clerk and recorder's office, we are adding 4 new FTEs to their motor vehicle division, and this is due to the increased workload that they've had over the past few years. They are also adding a new subscription service to election stats, and this will redact and post our election ballots online for Mesa County residents to view. It also provides historical and current voting statistics for residents, and this is just to help increase transparency around Mesa County elections.
Just a question about the FTEs. Those are actually replacing temporary folks, right?
Right. So we are adding the fully funded FTEs and reducing their temporary staffing budget, which has increased over the past few years.
Thanks.
For criminal justice services, we are adding a $180,000 contract with West Springs, Mine Springs. And this is going to fund services for our unserved, homeless, indigent population in Mesa County. And $156,000 is the appropriation for the new grant that they have received as well. The district attorney's office, in addition to the 2 grant-funded FTEs that we're adding, we're also adding another FTE for a mental health attorney, and this is duly funded through the district attorney's office and the county attorney's office. And this attorney will go to help with the competency docket that they are launching on July 1st. For the fairgrounds, we're adding an additional FTE for an event coordinator who will assist in scheduling events for the newly opened Clifton and DeBeck community campuses. Our IT department, we are adding 2 new FTEs. One is for a new director to lead their department. They've gone without a director for a few years now. And then we're also adding an additional analyst to help maintain the increasing county projects, because the IT department services all of the departments within Mesa County. For human resources, we're adding, making adjustments to the budget, $14,000 to account for year-end service awards that go to Mesa County employees. And then $7,000 for our MCEA, which these were funds for employee awards that were a part of the proposed budget were omitted from our adopted budget. So we're just adding those back in as they were approved previously. And then for the sheriff's office, in addition to the $61,000 in grants that they're appropriating, we have a $23,000 software that provides backup services for evidence that's stored on their forensic servers. Moving on to all the other funds, for the public health fund, the Pathways nonprofit organization, which provides services to our unserved homeless and in the community, they are ceasing operations, and so Mesa County will be managing this program going forward through our public health department so that they can continue offering these services. And so we have an $80,000 transfer from the general fund to help fund that startup. $40,000 in forecasted revenues from clinic fees. And we also received one-time donations, $50,000 from St. Mary's Hospital and $20,000 from Community Hospital. For community development, we have $124,000 for capital equipment, electronic permitting equipment. And this is going to help improve connectivity in the field for inspectors, and it will ultimately increase their efficiency as a department. And for facilities, we are adding $395,000 in capital for finishing up the DeBeck Community Center. And so this is for additional expenses that weren't previously budgeted for. These expenses were going towards the ultimately opening and operating the community center. So you can see we have some construction change orders, the tap fees, materials, furniture, equipment, etc. And then we also had a change order, $24,000 for a study that Mesa County was doing to study future building plans for the county. And the last item on here is the tax exempt lease purchase financing that was discussed in prior resolutions. We are financed through TD Bank $11.5 million, and this is going to fund the facility modernizations, capital improvements, energy efficiency upgrades. And these future lease payments will be paid for with those energy savings as we discussed. And in 2024, we are appropriating $2.3 million in construction projects estimated to be completed, with the remainder to be completed in 2025. And that is everything for this resolution. If you guys have any questions.
Thanks, Diane. Commissioners, do you have questions or comments at this time?
Not at this time, no.
Does anyone from the public have any comments or questions on this item? I'll close public comment and bring it back to the board for discussion.
The only comment I wanted to make was to clarify the Mine Springs contract, that $180,000, that this was for a service we'd been budgeting for years and paying for years because it hadn't been used over the last several years. Matt Lewis, rightfully so, decided to be fiscally prudent and remove it out of the budget. But because of all the transition with the staff at Mine Springs, they didn't realize they should have been billing. So about the time he moved it out of the budget, they realized they needed to be billing. And it increased in cost a little bit because of the change in Medicaid eligibility after the end of the public health emergency. So this really isn't adding 180,000 new, it's adding a little bit extra, I think about 30,000, but that was the why. But everything else I support.
I don't have anything to add, but thank you. You put a lot of work into this, and you're fresh to Mesa County. So thank you for all you've done, gotten up to snuff, and appreciate all your work on this.
Yeah, thanks, Diane. This has been really great to work with you on this, and you've done an excellent job. It's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so I will now entertain a motion to approve the item as entered into the record.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.